Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Harakakbadash. Double honors to my elder apostles, Great Millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord, doing the same and teaching the same wherever you're at, in truth and sincerity. All right? Salakia. Excuse me. All right, got this video. All right, and this is gonna be a quick lesson. Basically, Wells Fargo is shutting down all his branches. All right, okay, all of his banks in Babylon the Great America. Okay, so this is what the end looks like. Okay, this is you're watching Babylon the Great America fall. Okay. And yes, we're living in the last days, okay? All right, Yahweh Shah is about to return to this earth very soon, okay? And we know that according to prophecy, all right? So we're going to watch this clip. Let me make sure the audio is turned all the way up. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying.
Just got the notice, man. Wells Fargo is going to be closing down all its banks in the U.S. come June. So if you got a Wells Fargo account, man, I suggest that you close your account because all Wells Fargos in the USA will be closing down. Sorry, Wells Fargo customers. This news just came to me, and I'm giving it to you. So yeah, if you got a Wells Fargo bank account, I suggest you close your account right now, baby.
Okay. So, this place is going down, all right? So, I got a list of precepts, based on prophecy. And you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been warned, okay? You've been warned by the men of the Lord, beginning with the elder apostles, Great Millstone, the true men of the Lord, beginning with the elder apostles, Great Millstone, on down to the least of us, all right, such as myself, all right, which will be the least of us, all right, and the GMS affiliates, such as myself, all right. So, which brothers been constantly, day in and day out, in season and out of season, on the highways and hedges, and on the internet, okay, on YouTube, okay, flooding the internet with truth, all right, with this doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, okay, which is 100% truth. Okay, pertaining to the Bible, okay, because you got scoffers and mockers. They try to, they spend all day and night trying to come up with off the wall questions to offset the men of the Lord, and it's not going to work, and they're so carnal minded, they think we're talking about when we say, when they hear us say we know all things, they take that as, they know everything in the world, and and that's why Jake walk up and try to ask you some stuff that don't even pertain to the Bible. All right, because and at this point, everybody done heard about the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, whether they support it or not. Okay. And like I say, most of the people that walked up to my camp already knew about the Hebrew Israelites. So off rip they came off defensive, and so they have no cloak for their sin. All right, only the elect is going to take heed to the prophets, the 144,000 prophets, which are all men. Who the Lord sent out to what? Fish for the elect, okay? Teach this truth, all right? And just wait on the Lord to bring about these prophecies, all right? And the end of Esau, the so-called white man's empire, that great red dragon, all right, which comprises of NATO and the EU, okay, with that great whore Babylon the Great America on top, okay, but the Lord is coming back to take all of these kingdoms down, okay. That's why the scriptures prophesy of Yahweh Shah having what? Those many crowns. The Lord having many crowns on his head. Okay? That just represent that the Lord is coming back to taking down all these superpower nations of the earth. Okay? And Yahweh Shah and the angels, all right, are going to crack those clouds and enter this atmosphere, and wage war on Esau, the so-called white man, and these the armies around the world, and just take over the earth. Okay, that's what it means by the war in heaven. That war in heaven is just the Lord coming and the angels coming back in those chariots, all right, so-called spaceships, so-called UFOs, to take over the earth, all right, and they're going to win. But Esau, the so-called white man, all right, and these other nations, their army, their military might, they're gonna try their best to fight against these so-called extraterrestrials, all right, which that's the Lord and the angels coming back, but they don't know that. Even though they hear this truth coming out, they don't believe it. Okay, they look at us as crazy. Okay. And they're going to lose. Esau, the so-called white man, you're going to lose that war in heaven, prophesied in the Bible, okay, which is about to happen in the near future, okay. But let me read these precepts before I keep rambling, all right. So this is Jeremiah 44 and 4, Jeremiah 44, chapter 44 and 4. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. Okay? So our people, they reject the prophets. 2/3 of our people, which is all prophecy, but the prophecy has to play out to be fulfilled, okay? But 2/3 of our people, they reject the prophets, okay? They're like, nah, these niggas making shit up. They talking about we're false prophets, this, that, and the third, all right? And they trying to ask off-the-wall questions. They're just trying to basically hit you with a question that they hoping you can't answer pertaining to the Bible, all right? And a lot of these guys, these Christians, are sent too, like Vocab Malone, and it happens time and time and again. You have somebody scroll up and they acting like they all innocent and never, don't know what you're talking about, never seen you guys before. Don't fall for that type of, when they come up like that, okay? For the most part, and let's get a precept before I finished this already, but let's go to Matthew 24. Let's get 2 precepts, matter of fact, to prove what I'm saying. This truth, and it had a Amalekite, a Jewish woman, walked up to my camp. This was, not that long ago, a couple months ago, but she was on the other side of the street, and she was just walking, kind of walking fast, and she looked at me and crossed the street, and she was like, are you a Hebrew Israelite? And I was like, yeah. And I think she said she's a Jew, or she's Jewish. And she was like, something like she's Jewish, she's the real Jew, or some shit like that. And then she asked me for money. Okay, she asked me for money. And I was like, You know, we the true Jews, and kind of point, seeing that she wanted to interact. All right, and she just walked off. Okay, so the point is, a lot of people already know about this truth. They just don't like it. It's not. They don't have. They have itching ears. 2/3 of our people want to hear lies. All right, and the heathen damn sure don't want to hear this truth. All right, which you don't. The only thing they need to hear is that they're going into captivity. All right, the heathen are going into captivity, slavery according to the Bible. All right, Jeremiah 30:16. All right, Isaiah 14:1-2. All right, and Isaiah 60. All right, in Revelation 13:10. Okay, so all these other Psalms, the second chapter, the whole chapter really. All right, so you other nations are going into slavery in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be on earth. Okay, you can't get around it. All right, you can't get around it. And these people, they're gainsayers, but they can't resist what we're saying. They can't resist what we're saying. They try to research to see if we're lying, if we just, making shit up, and they found out the cold hard truth, and that's why they hate us even more. All right, 2/3 of our people, and these heathens, and beginning with Esau, so-called white man, they hate us even more because they can't confound us. All right, they can't confound us, and everything we're saying is the truth. That's why Esau is going to come down with great wrath. All right, that persecution. All right, so it says, let me scroll down. I'm gonna start at this Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Okay, so this truth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, it has reached the four corners of the earth. Beginning with the elder apostles, Great Millstone, all right, who's been doing this for going on 40 years, all right, approaching 40 years. Okay, this truth has reached the four corners of the earth. All right, everybody knows about the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, I told the story. My cousin, that's he's a veteran. He did like 8 or 9 years. He did like 8 or 9 years in the military. I forgot specifically what branch, but he did like 8 or 9 years. And my other cousins was telling him, they don't really know how to explain shit, but they was trying to basically tell him, and this was like months apart from the time when they told him, and then months later when he finally met me, he tried to question me about it, and he was like, yeah, I already know about it. He don't, he ain't really, we ain't going into it too much, but I just told him simply, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I believe with the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the chosen. All right, God's chosen people. And I kept it real short. All right, I kept it real short, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard about the Hebrew Israelites, cause he live in Texas. Yeah, he lives in Texas. All right, and that was it. And we just switched the topic. Okay, so that proves that everybody, even people in the military, didn't heard about the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so this truth has engulfed the earth. This truth has engulfed the planet Earth. So now the Lord is about to come back. Okay. I'm gonna start at 2. Okay, this Psalms 19 and 2. Psalms 19 and 2. Day unto day utter speech. Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Okay? Their line is going out throughout Salakia. Their line is going out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Okay? So yes, the prophets have taught this truth. All right, beginning with the elder apostles, Great Millstone has pushed this truth throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Okay? So that's why people's world is falling apart. That's why Babylon the Great America is falling. Okay? That's why World War III is happening. Because the Lord wanted what? His elect to be gathered, these prophecies, all right, and the knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah to be filled, to be pushed throughout all the earth. Okay? Let's see. All right. Here you go. So this Habakkuk, all right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and 14, all right. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. Okay? And that basically has been accomplished. Okay? And like I say, that's why you see prophecy happening so fast. Okay? Let's go back to Matthew 24. You know, the prophets first let me get this right quick. All right. So this Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no nor ever shall be, and except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Okay? So the Lord is speeding up prophecy. The Lord is causing everything to happen fast. All right? And the Lord is coming back very quickly. Okay? All right? So, and that has happened because the prophets of the Lord have pushed out these prophecies. Okay? And the more and more we prophesy, the more judgment, all right, and you know, the faster everything goes. Okay? So let's see. That's why this is Isaiah 62, and I might go ahead and end it. I gotta see if I got any other precepts. It's Isaiah 62 and 6. All right. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Okay? So the more and more we prophesy, the quicker we get out of here. Okay? And society is about to collapse. Okay, there's about to be a civil war. Okay, martial law, all these things. Okay, World War III is already here, but World War III will go nuclear, and according to Revelations, all right, you know, the 14th chapter, all right, the 16th chapter, all right, the 18th chapter, so on and so on. All right, many chapters in the Bible. Okay, it's going to go nuclear. Okay, World War III will go nuclear, and it's in the Bible. Okay? All right? So the more and more we prophesy, the faster everything goes. Okay? So let me see. All right. I'm going to get this precept. All right. This probably going to be the last one. Isaiah 24 and 10. Isaiah 24 and 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Okay? So, and people out here are really sad about this. Okay? All right? You know, not that long ago, my coworkers was chilling and kind of reminiscing. I couldn't really get in the conversation because, they was reminiscing about years ago, something, how it so-called used to be on the job years ago or whatever like that. So I was just kind of just standing there and, pretty much just vibing and listening and just agreeing at certain points, just, being engaged in the conversation. And they was just reminiscing about, how it was years ago, like long time ago. And these was like old cats. So these was guys that literally been working on the job for 20, from 18 to 25 years. All right. And they talking about how it used to be better, years ago and shit like that. So this place, let's read it again. It says, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Okay? So yeah, people are not happy. All right? People are not happy. Well, 2/3 of our people, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're not happy that life is changing for the worse. That, they're sad that Babylon the Great America is falling. All right, but the elect is happy. The elect is rejoicing. Okay? So let me see. Let me go to this is the last precept. But it popped up, so I gotta get it. See the fall of his enemy. Here you go. So this Ecclesiasticus 25 and 7, there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Okay? And that's what the elect want. All right, so Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it and give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the old apostles, great millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same, teaching the same. Shalom.